Hi, welcome back to Thrive America. I'm joined by very special guest Susan Asher of Asher PR. During the break here, Susan, we had some interesting conversations. The first thing I want to talk about now is I dabble a little bit in the independent film industry, and one thing that I've observed is how a movie that we see that Hollywood will produce will get tons and tons of it seems like PR. And then the movie will be okay or so-so, and then there'll be a great movie that I'll just find through a word of mouth that I'm thinking, why did this movie not get more press? So, what's going on with there?
Well, for that specific circumstance, there would be a couple of things going on there. One is probably who were the stars in the first film. You know, so if you get someone like Will Smith or Tom Cruise, it's going to get publicity. Jim Carrey, no matter how bad it is. And I'm sure you've seen tons of movies out there where the stars where the movie was horrible. And sometimes even like right now, I think, what's the name of it? Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. That movie is getting panned. However, it is getting tons of publicity because it's a Tom Cruise film. So that's one reason. The other reason is you have to look at your product and go, what is specific, what is different and specific about your product that is unlike the others. So let's say you did an independent film. If you call up USA Today or People or whatever those tabloid magazines are, they're not going to be interested in your film there. However, there are arts publications that will. The Wall Street Journal probably will. The New York Times probably will. And so those, you got to know who your publics are. You know, publics are made up of groups. They could be kids. They could be people who like foreign films. There are many different publics. So you have to know who that is and then who covers that. Don't contact the writer who contacts a Disney film when you've got like an independent film, which is a little bit more offbeat.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. That's great input. Just kind of finding the right person, staying positive, and looking for those opportunities along the way, and kind of knowing what your niche is, and definitely knowing what your film or what your business is unique and what that fills. We talked about the idea of bad press, and I guess the scary part of especially doing some PR by yourself could be bad press, or even working with someone like yourself and not being forthright with you, because reporters want the facts and so forth. Can you educate us?
Well, I had an experience like what you're talking about. I was representing this medical company, and I kept wondering why they did not get, why one of the local TV stations here would not do a segment on them. I got them, we did one TV thing, and we got them in a couple of newspapers, a magazine as well, and I had contacted, you know, I don't stop until it's clear to me somebody is not interested. So I had contacted a few reporters and went back and contacted them again. And then I decided, you know, I'm going to contact, as opposed to this medical reporter, I'm going to contact this other woman who I'm in touch with there. And she said, well, this is a good story. You know, we should do this. So she sends it over to the medical reporter. And so I then hear back from the medical reporter, we did this story 2 years ago. I'm like, what? I went back to the company and I said, now wait a second, you told me that you all were new to Atlanta. This had never been done before. And she's saying she did this story on the same process here in Atlanta 2 years ago. Can you tell me what's going on? Well, we were here, but we bought the company, and now we're a new company. Oh, well, that's not what we said in the press release. And that's not what the company had approved. So not only did it make the company look bad, like they're trying to pull one over the media, it made me look bad that I didn't even know that my client had been around before. Well, that's not what they had said. So, and that's one way it can backfire. Now they have lost trust. That company, that medical company, no matter what they do now, the reporters there are going to say, there's something with this medical company. We don't want to deal with folks like that. So be honest.
Yeah, and being honest doesn't mean you're not going to be newsworthy. I think being honest means that someone like you can help flesh out a story within the truth.
Yeah, people, if you're going to work with your PR person, you need to tell them everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and so many companies out there want to hide the ugly. I want to say, tell me the ugly. Here's another way things can backfire if companies are not up front. I was working with a development company up in Michigan, and they were building on top of a Superfund site. As you know, the Superfund sites are like the most polluted sites out there, and you know, the CDC gets involved and different agencies get involved, and that has to be cleaned up. And they said, we don't want to let people know we're building on top of a Superfund site. I said, well, actually, it's a wonderful time for us now to let people know, here's this horrible brownstone field, and we're going to clean it up. We're spending X amount of dollars. Tell them how many millions of dollars you're going to put into cleaning this up so that we can create a community and give an example of other communities who have done this. So now you look like, you know, you look like King Kong. You look like a savior. You're saving this poor economy in Michigan, and you're going to bring all these new residents in. No, they kept saying, we want to hide it. Well, the bad side, the downside of that is, listen, reporters are smart. They're very smart people, and they do their research on everything. Good reporters do. And when a reporter finds out that they have built on a Superfund site, they're not going to say they're the savior. They're going to say, these bullies built on a Superfund site. They never told anybody. We don't even know if it was cleaned up. They could have made a wonderful story out of this. They could have had the community surrounding them and going, yay, they could have been hailed as the hero. But instead, the community was saying, this development company wants to come in, and they're taking away this, and they're taking away this property here, and they're ruining the community. You know, they should listen. Companies should listen to their PR person, and that's another way that something could bite them later. I'm concerned at some point a reporter might do that. And even still, even if you work with a PR person, you can never guarantee your client that a story is not going to turn out badly. Because in advertising, you say exactly what you want to say. We are the best. The reporter comes in, hopefully, and looks at it, you know, without any type of blinders on, and says, this company is great at this, and they're not so great at this. And they had a problem with this, and here's what they did to fix the problem with this. Or you could get a bad story. It could all turn out bad. It's very rare that that happens, and if it turned out bad, you probably had something in your past that you didn't let your PR person know about, because had you let him or her know about it, y'all could have come up with a message that says, yes, we were cited for this in the past, and here's what we did to correct it, and here's what we have done, the measures we have taken so that it never happens again. But without sharing that information with your PR person, you're not going to have those messages, and the reporter's just going to come at you and attack you, and you're going to go, no, no, and you'll deny, and you'll look like a fool. You don't just deny it, or you don't say no comment. You say, we did this, and we were sorry, and we were wrong, and here's what we did to correct it, and we've got this plan. Here are the measures, concrete, and say what they are. Okay, that lifts you up. So it's good to work with a PR person, someone who can guide you and let you know, here's what you need to be careful for. And don't think, we all remember what happened to Burt Lance, his mom, when Connie Chung and, you know, said, oh, I won't tell anyone. Of course she does. When you speak to a reporter, it's all on record. Whether they say it's not on record, don't trust them. It's on the record, you know. Be nice, but it's on the record.
Wow, so you got you got to be nice and you got to be honest. All right, we're gonna be right back here with Susan Asher of Asher PR and go from there.